Today, we are going to focus on another good reader behavior that involves illustrations. Have you ever heard the phrase, a picture is worth 1,000 words? People use that phrase to describe just how powerful images can be in helping us visualize or understand ideas. When we read, it's so important to pay attention to illustrations and images to help us better understand the story. Sometimes pictures can help us understand the setting, how characters act and feel, and what happens during the beginning, middle, or the end of a story. We are going to use the book Amelia and Eleanor Go for a Ride to help us understand how to use illustrations. This story is written by Pam Munoz Ryan and illustrated by Brian Selznick. This book is historical fiction about two real people. The story is based on Amelia Earhart, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, and Eleanor Roosevelt, the First Lady of the United States in the 1930s, and how they were friends. The story begins with Amelia being invited to the White House by Eleanor. When sitting at the table, Amelia learns that Eleanor received her student pilot's license, and she offers to teach Eleanor how to fly. Eleanor responds by asking, I accept. What is it like to fly at night in the dark? As written in the book, Amelia says, everyone at the table leaned closer to hear. Very few people in the world had ever flown at night, and Amelia was one of them. Amelia's eyes sparkled. The stars glitter all about and seem close enough to touch. At higher elevations, the clouds below shine white with dark islands where the night sea shows through. I've seen the planet Venus setting on the horizon, and I've circled cities of twinkling lights. As a reader, it's important for me to use the illustration to help me understand what's happening in the story. I see that Amelia is describing flying at night. I know this because I see stars in the background. I can also tell that she is explaining this to many other people at dinner. They look to be enjoying her explanation. The characters also have their eyes closed. They must be trying to imagine what Amelia is describing. As the story continues, Amelia and Eleanor decide to fly over the capital city toward Baltimore at night. Amelia says, when asked about what the capital city looks like, there's no describing it. You just have to experience it on a clear night when you can see forever. Why, we should go tonight. We could fly the loop to Baltimore and back in no time. The Secret Service men protested. This hasn't been approved. Nonsense, said Eleanor. If Amelia Earhart can fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, I can certainly take a short flight to Baltimore and back. I can't forget to look at the picture. On this page, I can get a better understanding of how Eleanor and Amelia look. It helps me understand that they are friends because they are talking to each other on this page. The picture also shows me that they are so excited and not afraid of taking this trip, even when others feel like it might be dangerous. Then, Amelia and Eleanor make their way into the sky. As it states in the book, out the window the Potomac River glistened with moonshine. The Capitol dome reflected a soft golden halo, and the enormous light-drenched monuments looked like tiny miniatures. Later on the page, it says, Eleanor marveled. It's like sitting on top of the world. Even though the author uses these words to create a picture in our mind, it's hard to imagine. But then we turn the page and see this illustration. This picture helps me understand the setting of the story. I can see that the characters are now flying, and this is what they see out the airplane window. They are not inside the White House anymore. I can also see that it takes place in Washington, D.C. because of the monuments in the illustration. As you can see, readers, Amelia and Eleanor Go for a Ride is a great example of how illustrations can help us gain a better understanding of character, setting, and plot in a story. Illustrations are used to help better support the author's words. So when you read, make sure to pay attention to illustrations to help you become a better reader.